song about y'all is hip-hop.
For Obama, hip-hop. For Obama, hip-hop. For Obama.
So I think he was trying to jumpstart hip-hop. I think he was trying to take what all the great panelists up here have said, what David D has said, what people have talked about, and try and find a suitable language to make hip-hop look at itself, to make commercial hip-hop think critically about itself. Because we couldn't say that the Rock and Bells tour, all those Tribe Called Quest, except Mortal Technique and so on, Talib Kweli, those cats, that hip-hop is dead. Remember, Talib Kweli on his first album asked the question about hip-hop's death in a very provocative and profound fashion. So it's a, you know, and you know, people have announced the end of literature as they write literature. So it's in many genres, the announcement of death is one way to forward a conversation about an eroding field that needs to evolve in a different fashion. So death becomes a precursor for resurrection, so to speak. But I want to say a couple things here. You all should, as young people, in one sense, take solace in the fact, as I said before, the fact that you're raising these questions about your art form suggests that even though it's dead in certain levels, that hip-hop as a specific force of energy to generate, I think, serious opposition to the status quo is a beautiful thing. It ain't like R&B is having this conversation. Hey, what is Jaheim saying about political consciousness? You know, and what does Mary J. actually believe about the insurrection of power? You know, they ain't having that question. Rock and roll ain't having this kind of question in a serious fashion, right? Because it's a tribute to the power you've exercised, and some would argue the need to re-articulate a vision of hip-hop that brings it more in line to what it was at the beginning. And then I'll end by saying that I think that it's very important for us to think about hip-hop more than as an art form, but as a generational force that Twana has written powerfully about, but also to think about the fact that ultimately, if we're going to be representatives of a responsible musical aesthetic or at least political culture, we have to have an ongoing dialogue with ourselves and others about the best possible expressions of democracy. And it doesn't end here. You don't have to be cynical. You know, and I love the questions about how we can have a sustainable coalition. Martin Luther King Jr. then were lucky. It's almost crazy. When I say lucky, they work hard. Don't get me wrong. But once, you know, Martin King Jr. from 1957 in the bus boycott until 1962 was looking for a way to respond in a serious fashion. They called him a has-been. But 62, read the records. Albany, he got defeated soundly. Then, when a buffoon of a police commissioner named Bull Connor is operating in 1963 in Birmingham, Alabama, they said, we ain't gonna respond, we gonna make history by using him to make white Americans conscious of their, you know, segregation on the daily news. And so King said, this is a gift. I'm not saying he didn't have strategy. I'm not saying he didn't have tactics. I'm not saying the civil rights movement wasn't bigger than it was, but I'm saying you never can predict how history will erupt and evolve. And what you have to do is be prepared to take advantage of it when it occurs. And I thank God, if you don't mind that religious reference, that you all here are about the serious energy of preparation so that when the moment has arisen with Barack Obama, you're able to walk into the door and make a huge and significant difference.
Yeah, come stand up. Stretch for the stars, get somebody else involved right next to you. Y'all elected me to keep it so fresh for you.